That was Jealous Leeches with their tune Apathy, and Jealous Leeches are in studio with us right now. Guys, what can you tell us about that tune?
We actually weren't going to keep that tune, actually. We went and recorded, and it was actually one we were going to scrap, and ended up keeping it after we heard Corey sing over it, so it's pretty cool.
So tell me a little bit about your recording process. You went in, I know you recorded at Brimstone Recordings down with the great Odell Bromett.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. He's really patient.
Yeah, Odell's probably one of my most favorite engineers of all time, producers.
Pretty easy guy to work with.
Yeah, he's super easy to work with. He's put up with a lot from us, like just trying to do things over and over, because we didn't use any kind of fight. Well, the only thing we did, I'm gonna be honest, like the snare sounded like crap.
Yeah.
So like
we blended our snare with another snare, but everything else, the drums were all real. The vocals had no
kick drum was real.
Everything was real, but the vocals didn't even have any auto correction on them. So we spent a long time on vocals and things like that. But he's so patient with you, especially because we like to experiment. So he was really cool about letting us do that and not rushing or anything. He's a really patient guy.
So when you guys go to record, do you try to do it all in one take, or are you kind of like, oh, we got this part, we need to punch and do this part?
That's the way we pretty much do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have if we're feeling like we can get all the way through the song, sometimes we'll try to just make it through a bunch of parts at once, but we usually just punch in each section.
And everything's separate. You go in and do the drums for about a week, and then do the guitars and layer those, and you do it section by section and make sure it's all perfect and pretty. And
So we have 3 songs on this demo that you brought in tonight, but how many songs altogether would you say you're working on right now?
6 are going to be released in July, but we actually have another CD that's almost done too that's going to be released hopefully later this year. It's got 7 on it, so it's 13 in all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a full album now.
Yeah, it's in 2 sections. We're releasing 2 different ones, but it's, in essence, a whole album.
Now, what is your principle on releasing 2 separate ones opposed to one?
So like we wouldn't have like a flood of songs all at once, so everybody can kind of, we can release some at a time without just having 13 songs all at once and then everybody waiting a year before we have anything else.
No, that's cool. I like that idea. Yeah.
I like to spread it out so nobody gets bored with something really quickly, and gives us more time to write, so we ain't rushing something and put out like crappy stuff.
Now, in your writing process, how does that work? Do you have like kind of one primary songwriter that comes in, it's like, hey, I got this to show you guys, and you build upon it? Or is it something where you all get together and go, okay, today we're going to write a tune?
We definitely don't have a formula. It's kind of like somebody comes up with an idea, and then we just kind of work from there. Like,
Build off of it.
Yeah.
Continuously build off of it. Like, Brent is probably best if you just leave him alone in a room for about 12 hours, let him mess around with stuff, and all of a sudden you got this great masterpiece that he came out with. It's
6 minutes long, and I'm the same way, though. I like to sit down by myself and then bring like a backbone to a song to everybody. And then there's some in the band that just like to jam and figure out what comes out of it if we get anything out of it.
But, I mean, that's kind of like, I'm that way to an extent. It seems to me like that's kind of like a hit and miss formula, because of the fact that, like, when you sit in a room and you play with a bunch of people, like, you're going to get a very, very large sum of unstructured music, and it's just going to sound like crap. So, but I mean, there's like one riff and be like, oh, I like that riff.
That's how a song starts, though. So.
That's usually how the beginning of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real wrong formula.
It's just whatever works comfortable for that particular person, I guess.
In fact, I think it's bad if you start sticking to a formula, then you start sounding
exactly
monotonous.
The same.
Yeah.
So how long have you all, and by you all I mean you 3, been working together as far as songwriting is concerned, or musical composition?
Well, actually, Nick is a little late to these. Like, we already had these songs recorded on the next CD that we have and the one we have right now, but we're working on songs right now with him.
Yeah.
So like he's a part of it now, but on the ones, unfortunately, like he does his own thing when we play him live. But.
So Nick is freeloading on the songs you have
Kinda, sorta,
recorded
yeah,
now.
I guess you could
He's
call it
just
that.
hanging out like, hey ladies, I am the drummer for this band. I don't have to do
Nick is an
anything.
amazing
I'm
drummer,
just
by the way.
the
I'll
drummer.
say that.
Yeah, if anybody is listening to this and you're going to come to a show, like we do a segment in the show where Nick does a drum solo, and it is probably the most attention-grabbing part of the whole show. So like, he's an amazing drummer, but like it sucks that he couldn't be with the writing process. It was just us two, me and Brent, and our singer that wrote a lot of it and recorded it with help from a friend that drummed for us. But
Don't worry. So they can see some killer drums on July 10th.
yeah,
Absolutely.
In the old city of Knoxville, Tennessee, at the old Valerian place across the street from Barley's.
I'm no good drummer.
Well, right now we're going to roll into another one of your all's tracks. Track 2 off of the demo you gave me. What can you tell us about this tune?
Candle was, I wrote that on a piano actually originally, and we just used it. It was one of the first ones we wrote for this first CD, actually. It's been very aggravating to listen to it 400 times, but,
So what was your inspiration for writing?
I don't know. I was just doodling, actually. Honestly, I was just on a piano just working and stuff, and it came out, and then I did it on guitar and thought it sounded cool. And Brent had a rhythm, and that was the rhythm we used in the back, and then the lead was what we wrote on piano, and we just built it off of that, and it just sounded cool, so we thought we'd stick with it.
Oh, awesome. Well, here it is, a cool sound by Jealous Leeches. This is Candle.